So listeners tuning in, I know a bunch of you are knee-deep in AI right now, and for good reason. This stuff is blowing up.
It really is.
But there's this thing, this like secret sauce that makes AI actually pick.
Right.
Data annotation.
Yeah.
It's basically building the, I don't know, the instruction manual that AI uses to make sense of all the messy human stuff we throw at it.
It's true. It's like if you want an AI to actually understand something, you got to show it like a million examples of that thing, labeled perfectly.
Exactly. So you sent in a ton of messages about BetterTasks.
I did see those. Yeah, a lot of curiosity around that one.
They're making some really big promises, right? Like faster, cheaper, more accurate data annotation.
Yeah, those are bold claims.
Yeah, who wouldn't want that?
For sure.
But are they the real deal or just hype? We're going to find out.
That's what we're here for, right? To break it down. And I will say, in this field, data annotation accuracy is essential. But it's more than just getting it right. It's got to be the right key kind of annotation.
What do you mean?
Think of it like this. If you're teaching an AI to, I don't know, identify cars in pictures, you don't just want it to say car or not a car.
Right.
You want sedan, SUV, vintage car, that kind of detail. Getting those specifics nailed down, that's what makes AI actually helpful.
Right.
Instead of it just, I don't know, spitting out mistakes left and right.
Absolutely. So BetterTasks is saying they've basically cracked that nut, getting you that super precise training data without breaking the bank.
Right.
And they say they've got this global network of people doing the annotations, plus this whole multi-layer quality control system.
They do, yeah. If they can pull that off, it'd be pretty impressive.
Right. That's the big if. So before we even get into all that, let's talk about BetterTasks themselves, the company.
Sure.
Where'd they even come from?
So this might surprise you. They actually started out doing something completely different. Data entry.
Really?
Yeah, like basic data entry. Their original name was even dataentry.lk. But when the whole AI thing started taking off, they were smart. They saw the writing on the wall and pivoted their whole business model.
Interesting. So they already had this big workforce doing data work, and they were like, okay, let's level this up to AI.
Exactly. They saw that need for data annotation exploding and figured, we've got the people, we've got the infrastructure, let's do this. And this is just me speculating here, but that kind of adaptability, that's crucial in the AI world. Things move so fast.
For sure. And I remember reading something about their origin story, something about it being inspired by a real problem one of the founders had.
Oh, yeah, I read that too. One of the founders, Milan Bandara, I think, was talking to a friend who was apparently knee-deep in this really tedious computer vision project. And a big part of that was just, you guessed it, data annotation.
Ugh, the worst.
Right. So they saw how much time and effort it took and that there wasn't really a great solution out there that was fast, accurate, and affordable. And boom, BetterTasks was born.
Wow. So they really came from that user need perspective.
Totally. And that's something I always look for in a company, that understanding of what the end user is actually struggling with. And in this case, it seems like their whole approach is built around solving that problem.
Right. So we've got this background in crowdsourcing, this user-centric approach, and all these promises about accuracy, speed, affordability. It's a lot to unpack. But let's start with one of their big features, AI-assisted pre-annotation. What is that? Is it just a bunch of buzzwords, or is this something revolutionary?
It's a good question. We should probably dive into that.
It does sound very, like, futuristic, right? AI-assisted pre-annotation. Is it actually as game-changing as they make it out to be?
It can be pretty powerful, but it's not like magic or anything. Think of it this way. Let's say you're trying to train an AI to, I don't know, recognize different dog breeds in pictures.
Okay.
With this AI pre-annotation thing, the AI itself has already been trained on like a basic set of dog photos, so it can probably be a halfway decent job of spotting the dog in the image, maybe even guess the breed.
So it's like giving the humans a head start.
Exactly. Instead of them starting from zero with every image, they're just refining what the AI's already done, correcting mistakes, that kind of thing. It can definitely speed things up.
Right, makes sense. But isn't there a risk there? Like, what if the AI makes a mistake early on, and then the human annotators just kind of, I don't know, go with it?
Oh, absolutely. That's the catch. It all comes down to how good that initial AI training was. If it was trained on a bad data set, like one that's super limited or biased or something, that can actually make things worse because those errors just get multiplied.
Garbage in, garbage out, as they say.
Exactly. So yeah, you need to make sure the AI is getting good info from the get-go, even with humans checking its work. And that actually reminds me, BetterTasks talks a lot about transparency and giving clients control over their data. We should probably talk about that because that's huge in data annotation.
Why is that?
Because way too often, companies send off their data to be annotated, and it's like this black box. They have no idea who's actually looking at their data, what their quality control process is like. Nothing.
Sure, scary.
Right? But Better Tasks, it seems like they're addressing that head on. Real-time project tracking, you can see exactly how things are moving along, clear parameters that you set up front for how you want things labeled. They even say you can have your own team review and approve the annotations directly. That's
Right.
not something you see every day.
It's like having eyes on the entire process.
Yeah. But, and this is a big but, true transparency is about more than just showing you data. It's about how that data is presented, how easy it is to actually understand what you're looking at.
So their platform needs to be user-friendly too.
100%. So that's something to keep in mind when you're checking out their demo. See if their version of transparency actually works for you.
It's one thing to say you're transparent, it's another to actually deliver it in a way that's useful.
100%.
Okay, let's move on to another big promise they're making: cost effectiveness and scalability. I'm guessing those are two things that pretty much every company wants, especially with AI, because this stuff can get expensive fast.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's where the whole crowdsourcing thing comes in.
Right, because they've got that huge network of annotators.
Yeah, by tapping into that global workforce, they can offer way better prices than companies that just have a small in-house team.
Mhm.
It just makes sense from a business perspective.
But, and I think we've hit on this a couple of times already, bigger isn't always better. How do they make sure that the quality doesn't tank as they grow?
$1 million question right there, right? But it seems like they're aware of that potential pitfall because they really, really emphasize their multi-layered quality control.
They do mention that a lot. What does that actually mean, though, in real life?
So it means that it's not just a free-for-all, right? They're not just throwing data out to the crowd and hoping for the best. They've got multiple steps in place to catch errors.
Like what? Give me the specifics.
So, for one, they say they have 2 human reviewers for every single piece of data. So 2 different people are looking at that image, that text, whatever it is. That alone cuts down on errors big time. But it's not just about having 2 sets of eyes. It's about those eyes knowing what they're looking at.
That's the key, right? Like if you're training an AI to, I don't know, read medical scans or something,
Oh, absolutely.
you don't want just anyone off the street reviewing those annotations.
Exactly.
You want someone who actually knows, like, anatomy and can spot a problem.
You need experts, for sure. If your data is hyper-specialized, your reviewer's got to be specialized too.
So how do they handle that at BetterTasks? Do they actually, like, vet their reviewers, make sure they have the right skills?
It seems like they do, yeah. They mention having specialized teams for different data types, but you're right to bring that up. It's something I'd want to dig into more, see exactly how they match the expertise to the task. And it's not just about humans either. BetterTasks also talks about using AI for quality control too.
They do keep mentioning these AI checks.
Yeah.
So is the AI, like, checking the humans' work?
Kind of, yeah. So imagine you've got the AI looking for anything fishy in the annotations. Let's say one reviewer labels a picture as a golden retriever and another one says Labrador. The AI might flag that and be like, uh-oh, we need a third opinion here, and send it to like a senior reviewer to make the final call.
So it's like having this, I don't know, superpowered supervisor that never gets tired?
Exactly. But, and I know I sound like a broken record here, that AI supervisor is only as good as its own training, right? It all comes back to that.
Right, so we're back to square one again.
In a way, yeah. Which is why transparency is so important. You really need to understand how they're using AI in every step, what data they use to train those AIs, how they're making sure it's all legit, and honestly, that's where that free demo they offer could be super helpful.
Totally. Don't just take their word for it, try it yourself.
Exactly. And don't be shy, ask the hard questions.
Oh.
How do you guys handle disagreements between annotators? What kind of experts do you have on staff? How does your AI actually make things more accurate? Get into the nitty-gritty.
It's like we said, understanding their process is key, seeing if it actually fits your needs.
Exactly. And if you're really serious about maybe using BetterTasks for a big project, here's what I'd suggest. Start small. Do a little pilot project with them first. Give them some of your actual data, see how they handle it. That'll tell you way more than a demo ever could.